Two drivers from the Andretti Autosport team leading at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Marco Andretti swapping the lead with Ryan Hunter-Reay before this massive crowd on a spectacular Sunday afternoon here in Indiana. Andretti seeking his first win in a race that has been strange by normal standards here, because we've not seen the yellow flag yet. More times than not, we see a yellow flag in the first 15 laps of the race. Here we are at 141 laps, and we've not seen the caution for any reason.
What we're seeing right now is a possible preparation for what's going to happen at the end of this race. If two teammates are together like that, the one that's behind can defend and give the leader just enough of an advantage to make a run for it.
So at 350 miles, our Carfax race summary of the day: no cautions, 23 lead changes among 10 different drivers. The most laps led, Helio Castroneves, who's seeking his fourth win. Just two cars are out of the race. Buddy Lazier and Graham Rahal are retired. Tony Kanaan and Joseph Newgarden spent long times on the pit road with mechanical problems. They've both continued in the race, and there you see some of the drivers that have made big moves on the day, highlighted by the one in the middle, Ryan Hunter-Reay, who started in 19th position and has led 20 laps of this race, currently running in second position. It's sort of a cruel legend here at the Speedway. The famed Hall of Fame public address announcer Tom Carnegie bellowing, and Andretti slows on the backstretch. Mario Andretti, so strong here, but only won the race one time. Michael Andretti, one of the best ever in open wheel racing. So many wins, every place except here at Indianapolis. And Marco Andretti knows the family history here at the Speedway and wants to change it.
He's looking really strong today.
We just had so many heartaches there, so many times that we've come up close, really the three of us. And so, you know, this year I don't care if I lead one lap, it just has to be the one that counts.
Well, when Mario Andretti won the race in 1969, so many opportunities for this great racing family, but since then, those are some of the things that have happened. More on Marco Andretti from Dr. Jerry Punch.
You know, Michael Andretti told me he was 6 years old when his dad Mario went to Victory Lane. That's a long time ago, 45 years to be exact. And Michael told me before the race started, he said, if Marco wins it, I'm going to embarrass myself in Victory Lane. I will be crying like a baby because it will be so much emotion. But right now, Michael's car that he's engineering, Ryan Hunter-Reay, is trying to beat his son, Marco. In fact, he just told Ryan Hunter-Reay a moment ago, we're going to have to battle the 25 for the win, so we got to save fuel. Let's go to map 3 on fuel right now.
The tactical game, how to spend the least amount of time on pit road on that final stop and yet maintain a shot at running to the win.
And more important this race than any, because usually yellows give you an opportunity to bunch the field back up, have an opportunity to have the service on your car, and then when you come out behind the pace car, everybody is bunched together. But if this race goes green all the way, it's going to become more important.
Ed Carpenter in. Remember, he had to pit shy of the other leaders.
We're going to give you a half a turn of front wing
Earlier, and here he is again, Jamie.
And you hear the adjustment there. Of course, we showed his right rear tire was severely blistered after that last stint. So they took 1 pound out of the right rear. They'll take a good look at it this time and see how it's looking. He said he has quite a bit of understeer. They're going to adjust for that. They'll put 4 fresh tires on here for Ed Carpenter, who is maintaining a top 5 run there. They'll see if they'll have enough to the end.
So Carpenter and everyone else going to have to make at least one more stop to make the distance. The trick is his will have to be longer. He'll need more fuel if we stay under the green flag. 54 laps to go. We're back after this from your ABC station. The yellow flag is waved for the first time in the Indianapolis 500. That's California's Charlie Kimball, who has spun. He spun after he had one almost spin and great save. Now the second time around, you see them extracting himself from the car off of turn number 2.
And this puts Power and Montoya back in play again because everybody's going to regroup.
Top of the screen, you'll see the car come into play. He's just a little high on the line, goes around, gets so lucky because it doesn't really slap the wall too hard. Lucky again that nobody hits him. That's coming out of turn 2. And now he tries to straighten the car. He lets his foot off the brake a little bit to get control. The momentum brings the back end around still. Been through that many times. You're just sort of riding along as a passenger. Not a whole lot you can do.
He was very lucky because in the break he had another moment just like that, turning into 3. So maybe he had an issue with his balance before all that started.
And Eddie, you know that sometimes when you're high in the line like that, you could be right because maybe he had a loose race car before from what we saw. Sometimes when the car's loose like that, you will not turn the steering wheel very quickly simply because the back end is nervous and you can feel that. This was earlier, and you watch him now with the run down here to turn 3. Watch him above on the camera here.
Outside.
That's 14, Takuma Sato going around the outside, and he just collects it. Eddie, you and I cringe because it's not very often to get away with that at 220 miles an hour.
Good look from our Novo Nordisk onboard camera riding with Kimball today.
And this is the one that just happened. We're going to go on board now, so let's just ride along and listen. Saw him smart.
Clear. You're clear behind you.
Clear.
Smart would take
Backwards.
his hands off the wheel when he went to hit the wall. That's just to avoid some hand and wrist injuries. That's no fun.
Safety crew fired up the 83, put the steering wheel back on, and he has driven back around to the pit lane. So Marco Andretti leads. Ryan Hunter-Reay runs second.
I don't know, man. Cars, I've got an advantage right now that I'm not going to say on the radio, but I'm not sure if me being there is being allowed by the downforce or if the car is just that good. Yeah, 10-4. That makes it tough, doesn't it?
Now, he's talking about the advantage he has on his teammate, Marco. He's not talking about the advantage and the guy he has behind.
Yeah, and
we're
who's
looking
he
at
talking to?
confident guys.
Right, and who's he talking to on the radio?
The father of the guy who's in the car in front.
In front, yes.
Who happens
owns
to
the
be
team.
an Andretti. And
Yeah.
the last time they won, I think they put a man on the moon or something like that. So even I saw that.
So that's the thought of the driver sitting second. How about the thought of the 2008 winner, Scott Dixon, who sits in 4th?
You need more downforce to get up, or we can take some out? I think we're going to have to take some out to be racy, man. We copy that.
So what he's saying is he's just not fast enough.
Update on Dixon from Vince.
Well, and Eddie, you're talking about he's not fast enough, and that's why they've got to take the downforce out, as Dixon just said on the radio, because he knows he's going to have to be faster if he's going to get up there and contend with Ryan Hunter-Reay and Marco Andretti. They'll look to make that change on this stop. Their pit stops, by the way, have been flawless so far. They've really made up time on pit lane.
They really have to be careful as don't take out too much downforce so he can't get up the back of somebody's gearbox in the corner. Marco Andretti had that in the beginning, and he had those blistered rear tires. So you've got to get it just right that you can hang on for that final rush. And the pits are open.
So Andretti Autosport having a fine day with all 5 of its cars in the top 10. Kurt Busch in that last run moving up smartly. Being aided a little bit by the fact that Ed Carpenter and J.R. Hildebrand had just made pit stops before the yellow under this green, and the penalties to Will Power and Juan Pablo Montoya on those last green flag stops.
I would love to know what they've done to Kurt Busch's car change-wise, Scott. If they've given him more downforce, they give him some more confidence, what are they doing to give him a run at the end?
Oh, I imagine that's probably the case because he had that mishap the other day, hit the wall. He's the driver now that's probably looking for security, and now we're going to come up to some more pit stops, Howard.
I'd love to know what Kurt's emotions are, that journey on the day, how nervous he was at the start, when at what point in the race he settled in, and now as the tension begins to build toward the finish, what he and all the other drivers are thinking about and feeling about right now. First thing they're thinking about is a set of pit stops. 48 laps to go will not be the last pit stop on the day, but here they come for a crucial one, Doc.
And they have Warren Marco and Andretti. You're going to have to go around where Kurt Busch is going to be pitting, and it's going to be a very busy and very congested pit road. You got to watch your mirrors, use your pedals. Here comes Marco to a stop. Oh, almost gets hit from behind by his teammate. Marco has asked for a half a turn of front wing adjustment. He will wait on fuel. No problem now with tires are on, and Marco's away. Jamie.
Helio Castroneves, a front wing change there for the second pit stop in a row. 4 tires, they filled them up with Sunoco fuel. Clean exit out.
Ryan Hunter-Reay moving up a spot. Scott Dixon as well. Getting closer to the finish at Indy.